Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to be back. It seems a bit weird. I haven't been here the last 2 weeks, so I hope you missed me as much as I missed you. I'm just teasing. So I've been away the last 2 weeks. Last week I was in Namibia for work, and the week before that I was away doing a workshop at Mount Grace, which is really lovely. So very, very excited to be back and to be with you on a very special evening. And if you're living in Johannesburg or South Africa, it's got cold. I think winter has arrived. The winds of change have certainly been blowing today. And yeah, it's got cold. Wait, so I just realized I didn't put on the microphone. So I'm just going to put that on so it makes it a bit better from a sound quality perspective. And then we're going to get started. So tonight we're also doing a special draw for the winner of a reading with me that for the last month, if you've been following my page. Oh, good, Lorna, thank you for that. Is that in the last month we ran a competition, if you like my page and Stacey Turner's page, who runs a business called Blue String Virtual Assistants. She's the virtual assistant for my business, and really I can highly recommend her. So if you like both our pages in the month of June, you're eligible for a draw. So we're going to do that draw shortly. We're going to, let me just see what we're going to do here. So Stacey, Stacey, are you with us? I see you're a top fan, Lana, so you all need to claim your top fan badges. It's quite a fun thing to do. Hello, Zelda. Thank you, Eugene. Right, so I just want to see if Stacey's online, then we're going to do the draw for the free reading. I see Zelda's also a top fan. Bargain, 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 bargain. Right, so if Stacey is online, then we will do the free reading, and then I'm going to get into the thing. There Stacey is. So in the last month, we have had 49 people like my page and Stacey's page, and so you are eligible for a reading with me. So we're going to do things. So Stacey's got a list of the names of people in number order, and I'm going to do a random generator. I don't know if you can see it on my phone. No, it's not great in the light, but there's a random generator here. So it's going to choose a number between 1 and 49, and then Stacey will say who the winner is. So hold your breath if you do not want a reading with me. Now's the time to make sure you do not hope for it. Right, so let us see. All right, generate number 13. Number 13. So whoever is number 13 on the list, on Stacey's list, you are the winner of a free reading with me, and Stacey will be in touch. Stacey, will you please put up the person's name? So we got that on here. So very exciting. You get a free hour reading with me. Stacey will be in touch and organize a time and date to work for you. And then you get to have a reading with me. How cool is that? I can't wait. Very, very, very exciting. Right, so it's new moon tomorrow, and it's a new moon eclipse. So an eclipse means that the sun, the earth, and the moon all line up, and we kind of have a period of darkness, so to speak. And so with the new moon eclipse, so obviously the moon's in its shadow side already, we've got a great opportunity to capitalize on things. I think that's the big thing. And July is an interesting month because we've got 2 new moons in July. And so new moon's all about bringing in new. It's all about action. It's all about what is it you've been called to do. And there's been this calling for action lately. And so it's not a surprise that when I did the crystal for tonight, the crystal for this week, the crystal that came forward is Carnelian. Carnelian. So here's a beautiful piece of Carnelian. And Carnelian is full of passion, fire energy. It's all about action. So where have you not been doing the stuff that you are needing to do? Oh, there we go. The winner is Leanne Nicholson Cosfroby. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. Leanne Nicholson Cosfroby. So you are the winner. Yay, 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 very exciting. So Stacey will be in touch and set that up for you. So very, very, very cool. All right, so Carnelian is this beautiful crystal, and it's this about getting this passion in our belly and the fire in our belly, and we need to start working, and working not in the way that we've been working before, working in the way that we're making progress every tiny step is about progress. So I was doing a workshop, as I said, in Namibia last week, and one of the things I said was like, thinking is not progress. What have you been thinking about for a very long time that you're not doing anything about? So we need to start doing. Yeah, and a small action opens up huge portals for miracles. The divine rewards those that act. So where do you need to take action is a big thing that's coming up at this point in time. Right, so I am going to start off with doing a reading for the group as a whole. So we'll do the weekly message. And as always, I'm connecting my guides, and this you can kind of think is like a weather report. It's messages for whoever happens to come across these readings tonight, tomorrow, during the week, or actually, if you follow my YouTube page, you can go and look at the archives. Whenever you hear the message is when you're supposed to hear it. So we're going to connect with the guides and call forward that they only bring forward messages that support the highest good of everybody who ever comes across this. And we're going to get 3 cards. What do we need to pay attention to this week? What support is available for us this week? And what opportunities exist for us this week? So, right, let us see. All right, so what do we need to pay attention to this week? And I had this card come up twice today in reading, so it's clearly there. Everything that happens is an opportunity for your growth. Everything that happens is an opportunity for your growth. And you'll see the beautiful lotus flower. And the lotus flower is well known in the spiritual world in terms of the sort of metaphor of pushing through the darkness until you get to the top, and that forces the strength that can hold the beautiful blossom that is the lotus flower. And so when we look at this card, what needs to be paid attention to this week, and the message that comes forward is like sitting back and kind of noticing where you are stagnating. So remember, Carnelian was the crystal came forward about action. And so where are you stagnating? Now, stagnating is very different to stillness. Stillness is an intentional space of allowing ourselves to grow. It's connecting in so we can find that strength, that stalk within us to grow. But stagnation is where there's almost a need for movement, but we're not. Think of stagnant water. Think of something that has been still for too long. Now we've got the challenge of it's starting to really coagulate is a terrible word, but ferment is probably the word they're wanting me to use. So where are you stagnating because you are being still for too long? Yeah, is the question the guides are asking us tonight. Where are you stagnating because you're being still for too long? So you could be stagnating in a relationship because you're being too still in it, which may mean you're not expressing yourself. You could be stagnating with regards to an idea because you're too reflective around it. So again, this call for action. What is it that is causing stagnation in your life? And it's often linked to a lack of permission to do what you want to do, a lack of will to embrace the energy you need to do something, which might require effort sometimes, or it may mean there's a lack of courage. So in what way do you need to embrace your brave, find your will to act, or take a step forward that may be disruptive, may shift things? Actually, if you're stagnating, any step is disruptive. Any action, any word is disruptive. So it's this permission to disrupt, and knowing that this also serves is when something's been stagnating, there's a call for action, and that calling forces you to get connected to your spirit. So where is it that you need to do that? You may have had an idea that you've been talking about for a very long time. And an important bit with it is, what is the first step you need to take? Not what is the goal, not what is the end plan, not where do you want to end up. What is the first thing that you need to do? And that's where the effort needs to be put in. So the card that then comes forward in terms of what opportunity, what support is available for you this week? Trust your inner knowing. Now, I love this card. Just have a look at it. It is so beautiful that you've got this true north compass within you. And so if everything happens, where are you stagnating? Where is it that you need to shift something? The step you need to take, that's what we were just talking about. The first step you need to take is not the step that you think it might be. What I mean by that is if I had to sit down and put down a plan to do something, I'm going to think through it and I'm going to think about what the steps are. And I'm going to refer to best practice and books and all sorts of things. But it may not be the thing that you know you need to do. So if I had to give you an example, if I wanted to change my financial situation, I'm stagnant, my bank account's not changing, etc., etc. And so if I had to put down a plan for that, well, the first plan would be like earn more money, save more, stop spending money, print out my bank accounts. All of these things would be actions I need to take. This is what I would think I would need to do. But if I connect in and I say to my spirit, okay, what is it I most need to do to shift this? And your spirit might give you a message like, play. Start having fun with money. Now, this set of actions I've got may still be accurate and valuable, but what my spirit's given me is this intuitive knowledge of how to go about doing it. To do it with a light-heartedness, not with this heavy energy, to play with money, to explore it, to do something different. And so this trusting your inner knowing. The other message that comes forward with this is what you need to do may not be what others think you need to do, and certainly may not be what others approve for you to do. So wherever you're stagnant and there's this calling to take action, you're going to have to get still. So here's the interesting paradox of the stillness will let you connect with what's the step you need to take and to trust yourself with that. Right, so what opportunities exist for this week? I can't make this up. I just love what I do. Your dreams are calling you forward. I honestly can't make this up, can I? Yeah. So everything that happens is opportunity for your growth. So where are you stagnant? Where do you need to look for what you need to do? Take the step your heart is asking you to take, and your dreams will start to manifest themselves. Yeah. So now, I remember, I remember sitting in my corporate job many, many years ago, and some of you have heard this story before, so I apologize, but I knew something needed to change my life. I just didn't know what it was. And I've always been a fan of ABBA. Don't hold it against me. I love, love, love ABBA. And I love the song, I Have a Dream, a song to sing, to help me cope with everything. And then it goes on and says, I believe in angels. And I didn't know what it is that I needed to do, but I knew this song pulled me forward. And I printed out the words and I used to listen to it all the time. And I used to sit and just contemplate, like, what is pulling me forward? I didn't have it clear in my mind, but I knew that there was something that I needed to be brave enough to do. And so sometimes we need to just trust the pull, trust that calling, that there's something pulling you forward, and it will unfold along the way if you just get brave enough to take action, to take the steps we need to take. I could not have predicted where my life would have ended up, but I certainly can feel today, and it still continues to pull me, but I can certainly feel today that I am so much closer aligned to the dreams that are part of my spirit, that the thing I'm here to do, I get to do every day. And my mind often doesn't agree with the things I know I need to do. Like if I trusted my mind, I'd still be sitting at that desk in the corporate world. I would never have been brave enough. So your dreams are calling you forward. What are your dreams? What's the dreams of your heart? Not the dreams of your mind, not goals, dreams. Yeah, I have a dream. A song to sing. Right, so there we have it. How cool is that? Oh, it's a pleasure, Yentel. Yep. Oh, I'm glad, Eugene. Okay, right. So I'm going to start doing readings now. So if you'd like a reading, you just ask for a reading. Reading. The way it works, for those of you who've never been online with me before, is I get drawn intuitively to those that readings is going to be most supportive for the greatest good. So if I don't see you or connect with you, it does not mean you're not loved. It just means that maybe you've already got a message somewhere along the line. So pay attention to other people's messages too. And I don't typically scroll back up, so just keep asking. Don't be shy. You can ask as many times as you want. On a second note, please, will you share this out with your friends and your family, and if you belong to any spiritual groups, to send that out to them. There's a real need for us to get lots more messages of light out into the world. Right, so let us get started. Oh, look, there's so many of you today. Tiffany Jones Barbazano. Right, let us see what your guides want to tell you. The top card is what's coming forward. All right, Tiffany Jones, return to innocence. Return to innocence. Don't you love her? Oh, isn't she precious, child? All right, Tiffany, the message that's coming forward for you is, so I'm just going to get this crystal here. Tiffany. Return to innocence. Okay, so the way your guides are coming forward is your female guide is coming forward, and she's got candy floss, like this huge big thing of pink. Oh, it's all different colors actually, pink and purple, and she's got this candy floss, and she's walking with this candy floss. Now she says the thing that's interesting about candy floss is it's almost like air. It's just this magical thing, you know, like we all have this sort of like sort of special relationship somehow with candy floss, you know, that sort of making it. They just put the sugar and it just spins into this like in like pretty air kind of thing. And there's a magic in that. There's sort of alchemy, this alchemy of like how the sugar with enough heat and the right sort of process just turns into this magical substance that we call candy floss. And it really is the sort of the essence of magic for children, for dreams. Like it just is, you know. There's very few people I've met that are going to have a terrible response to candy floss. So the way your guides are coming forward, or your female guide in particular, is she says, when you spin things the right way, it will always turn into something magical. When you allow things to kind of move in the right way. But if we again hold something stagnant, it's just going to, like, it's just never going to happen. It's just not. So she's saying that there's a need for more flow in your life. There's a need for allowing things to move, because if it doesn't move, you can't transform it. By holding on to things. So there's something in your life in particular that you've got quite controlling about. And if you allow it to move and notice what happens, then you can start to see the way it moves, and you can start to work with it, and then you can transform it into whatever it is that you want to transform to. So she says, have a look, scan across your life. It seems to be more in the sort of work area where you have become quite controlling and holding things quite stagnant, and something may just need some movement to transform itself. And so returning to innocence is allowing some things to flow as they need to flow. I hope that makes sense for you, my love. Sometimes I speak in these metaphors, so let's see what comes up for you there. Angela Carney. Right, Angela Carney. I think did I put in your comment? Yeah. All right, some guidance or message would be so appreciated. All right, Angela, let us see what your guides would like to tell you tonight. If you want just a general message, you can say so. If you want it around a specific topic, then just let me know. All right, Angela, the message is coming forward for you is turn and face anything you are avoiding. Turn and face anything you are avoiding. Okay, Angela. There seems to be a, a conflict that has been going on in your space for a little while. A conflict, it seems to be a conflict of perspective or a conflict of opinion. And it doesn't appear that you're a fan of conflict. I'm not sure how many people are fans of conflict. But when we understand what conflict is, your guides are saying, is it really is an opportunity for renegotiation. And when we see conflict as an opportunity for renegotiation, it means we can renegotiate on many levels. We could renegotiate with ourselves, because often conflict is about an attachment to something. And when we look at things from a spiritual perspective, what is it we need to detach from? And so that would be a renegotiation with ourselves, because we've become quite attached to something. So it seems like their messages are all aligning with these stagnant messages tonight. The other way, it could be a renegotiation of boundaries. You've crossed a boundary. This is not acceptable. This is not the way I expect to be treated. It could be a renegotiation of a relationship. Either this relationship is not working for me, or this relationship needs to evolve or shift into something. And it could be a renegotiation of action. What is it that we need to do differently so that we can move forward? So conflict is always an opportunity for renegotiation. I've never heard them talk about it that way. And so they're saying, where you look at this conflict, when you go and face it, there's an opportunity for something to be renegotiated. And when that is, and it seems to be a lot around your own expression and your own boundaries. And when this happens, a lot can shift in your world. So allowing yourself to notice, how can you renegotiate things with this conflict? What is it offering you in that way? I hope that makes sense for you, Angela. Right, let's see. Oh, good. I'm glad, Tiffany. I saw your message come up there, so thank you for that. Stephen Colon, how are you doing? I haven't seen you for a little while, because I haven't been here for a little while, but I'm back. I'm back. All right, Stephen, so let us see what your guides would like to say. All right. So they definitely are playing into this energy of the overall reading in terms of the stagnation and moving into that. So Stephen, detach from anything holding you back. Detach from anything holding you back. Now, there's a number of things I want me to point out on this card before I start going into the specifics for you. Firstly, the infinity symbol, which is about continual evolution growth, but more specifically, the infinity symbol on these cards comes from the suit of these cards called Own the Part You're Playing, because whatever we're doing is what we're receiving. And the way we interact with life becomes this infinite loop of the way the universe works with us. And so if this is about the way you're showing up and owning the part you're playing, when we have a look at trying to fly, so to speak, if you wanted to fly this hot air balloon, you would need to own how you work with the hot air balloon. Yeah. If I stand in this hot air balloon and I keep pumping up hot air, but I never ever cut the ropes, or I never ever ask the people to cut the ropes, or I never ever do any of these things, then all my energy is not creating anything. So sometimes I have to stop doing what I'm doing and notice what I need to do so that things can change. Just doing the same thing over and over again is not necessarily going to generate new results. If I just keep pumping the air here, I'm not going to fly if I haven't actually negotiated for people to let the ropes go, or if I'm not in the thing. So there's this tendency for you, Stephen, they're saying, to notice where you are continuing to do the same things and it's not generating the results you want. And to, rather than be attached to continuing doing that, pause, step back and saying, what else is needing my attention? What else could I be doing that would shift something here? So that's what they're saying. I hope that makes sense for you. Right, let us see who is next. Cheryl, is the relationship soul enriching to pursue? All relationships are soul enriching. All relationships are soul enriching, even if they're one night stand. Even if they don't work out very well, but they're all soul enriching. But let us see. I think I know what you're asking. You're asking for something a bit deeper than that, right? Let us see, Cheryl, what your guides would like to tell you. Rest. Take a break. Indulge yourself. So rest, take a break, indulge yourself. The overwhelming feeling I got when I pulled the card and when I was connecting in with you, and I was teasing you a little bit about this as the relationship soul enriching, and I was teasing you, saying they all are. But the overwhelming sense that I got was just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Like, oh, it's like all just kind of like a good massage, like a good day out at the spa. Like it's a little bit of fun. So it's certainly not what you're expecting it to be. And there's no need to even ponder on the question, like, is this, we often go into trying to predict the future around relationships. I certainly know that I do this, and that's a way of trying to give us safety, so it's worth pursuing it. But really, it's this opportunity to just languish in it, just enjoy it. He seems to have come into your world to show you an indulgence, to have fun, like it's playful and it's delicious. It's delicious. Delicious, delicious, delicious. I'm like, oh, how can I have some of that? So enjoy it. Enjoy it. Your soul needs to have some fun. Yeah, you need to learn to trust fun. Oh, there we go. I am. It's yummy. There you go. You need no more information than that. So, all right. So there you go. All right. Let's see who's next. Marlene. Any readings for me, please? Anything from my mom? So your mom crossed over, Marlene. I'll take it. I can feel she's crossed. All right, let's see what they're wanting to tell us. Let's see if we can connect what's right for you. All right, Marlene. Okay, so the card that's come forward is connect back to source. And the message I'm getting from your mom is that she is connected back to source. So one of the things that happens for us when we cross back over is like we almost return home is the best way that Spirit often talks to me about it. It's like now I'm back. And this trip to Earth is done, and now I'm back home. And your mom comes forward with very much that sort of settled energy. She wants you to know that she's quite content. She feels very safe, very relaxed, very much like, she says, like imagine sitting on a Sunday afternoon on the couch with the sun streaming in and the cats on the couch. I'm not sure what the cats are about, but there's cats. And, and like your family around watching videos or movies, and it's just all lovely. And it's like homely, and there's a contentment. And so your mom shows me that sort of energy. So she's warm and she's comfortable and she's relaxed, and it's like being at home is what she wants me to tell you. I hope that is comforting. I hope that that's what you needed to hear, my love. But your mom says you need to breathe. I don't want to use the word she's saying you need to relax. I don't want to use those words. So breathe, enjoy your life. She's fine. Thank you for loving her, she says. All right, so then, Marlene, I hope that makes sense for you. All right, Dean. Is this Stacey's Dean? I know that sounds highly like she owns you. I'm sure she does not own you because nobody owns anybody else. But is this, yes, it is. Dean connected to Stacey. Yeah, reading on the next chapter. All right, let's see, Dean. All right, I'm going to pull another card because the same card came up. All right, so Dean, remove the doubt. There's a message that's coming forward for you. Pleasure, Marlene. I hope that brings you some comfort. And it feels like you need a big hug, my darling. Remove the doubt. So Dean, there's this, your male guide comes forward and he shows me like, he comes forward with these glasses on and he's walking around with these glasses. And it's almost like, binoculars. And the binoculars is like scanning the environment and it's looking at everything. Now, binoculars are very useful if we're wanting to find things out in the ocean, or if we're wanting to look up in the sky to find birds and that sort of thing. But when we're wearing binoculars, we're watching everything around us through binoculars, then we lose perspective. So if I'm sitting and my daughter's here, for example, and I look at her through binoculars, suddenly she looks much bigger than she is. And she looks more in my face. And this is something you're doing. It's like you're almost looking at all the people around you, particularly those people that you compare yourself to, and you're looking at them through binoculars and you're making them very big. And they're not that big. They're not that, they're just people doing their stuff, just like you're a person doing your stuff. And so when you compare yourself to them all the time, you're going to live in perpetual doubt, like you're not good enough. And so this, it really is about taking away the binoculars and looking at you in the mirror and seeing your gift, seeing your talent, seeing how brilliant you are, rather than looking at everybody else and seeing them and inflating them and making them so much bigger than they are. I hope that makes sense for you, Dean. Nice to connect with you, my darling. Right, let us see. Malika, hello. Malika got shown to me. Right, Malika, finances and career. How are you? I feel like we need to catch up somewhere along the line, Malika. Yeah. Let's start doing your spirit work. Right, finances and career, please. Choose to trust. A little bit like Dean's message now, which was remove the doubts. There's sort of opposite energy of like choosing to trust. Now, this is not so much trusting yourself, my darling, because in many ways they're showing me that you have started to connect in with a deep sense of faith in yourself and trusting yourself. What you're not trusting is the world. Is like other people on earth or earth itself, like just trusting a life, like earth's a good place to be. Some of you may need to hear that again. Earth's a good place to be. Yeah, and actually everything we need can be provided for us here. It is actually a place of abundance. We create quite a lot of stagnation for ourselves. We create a lot of barriers to receiving the abundance that is our birthright, because we live in fear or protection or resistance to life. And so it's almost like you're trusting yourself. You want to go out and do what you want to do, but you don't trust where you're doing it. And so this creates a barrier to the universe being able to deliver and for you to receive what you need to receive. So choose to trust is the main message there. Good, I'm glad, Dean. Glad. Right, Malika, that's your message, my darling. Absolutely, she says. All right, so we got that. Golda Deeks. My guidance about creative writing, correct. Remove the doubt. Remove the doubt. Remove the doubt. Right, let's see what your guides want to tell you, my darling. Golda. That's a lovely name, Golda. Right, let's see. Good, I'm glad I'll see you soon, Malika. Golda, it's time to give up. Okay, so if you have a look at this card, first you're going to see the cube here. The cube is all about the deck that this comes from is all about facing your fears and dealing with your fears. And we've got it's time to give up, and you'll see these beautiful barbed wire fences. And when we snip the barbed wire, it starts to transform into this bird, and ultimately we can fly free. So giving up. I saw a meme I've posted on my page. Some of you might have seen it about toxic positivity. And toxic positivity is like you must persist and you must follow and you must do what needs to be done. But the question sometimes is, what do you need to give up? If if creative writing is something you want to pursue, which I get a profound amount of like green energy around it. So there's lots of green. So that tells me green is always a flow of abundance. It's always a sign of go. But in order to do that, what would you need to give up? To do true creative writing, you need to give up on being right. Because creative writing comes from a place of inspiration, of ideas. And so the need for approval or the need to be right can really impede our ability to truly create, whether it's writing, art, dancing, doing whatever it is. If we doing it for a need for approval, we will not create what's within us. And so your creativity has got more to do with doing things for your own sense of joy, for your own sense of expansion, for your own sense of love, for your own sense of life. So create or write what you want to write for you, and others will find it, rather than writing for approval. So I hope that makes sense for you, Golda. Right, let us see who is next. Puvi Gamanda. Let's see what your guides would like to tell you. Right, Puvi, anything for me to look forward to in the near future? Anything for me to look forward to in the near future? So the message that came forward before I even show you the card is there's always something. Like every minute there's always something that we can explore. It doesn't matter what the next moment presents, it's something interesting. And so the message that's come forward for you is be peace. Be peace. And you can see again this comes from the Own the Part You're Playing deck, suit in the deck. And this idea of, these beautiful candles, and I'm passing on the flame. And when you get be peace, the way your guides come forward is it's about allowing yourself to relax, that life is good, that there's not such a need for high alert. So it's almost like there's this underlying alertness, this underlying waiting for something to go wrong, waiting for something to do, waiting. And this causes quite a sort of like an underlying anxiety. So when you can breathe and you just know it's all good, everything that happens is good. Even the stuff you don't like is good. Yeah? Not good in the traditional sense of it, but just there. You can be peaceful, that you can embrace life, you can meet life with a peaceful presence. And so breathe. All right, so there you go. I hope that makes sense for you. Right, Keenan, anything about my health? All right, let's see what they're wanting to tell you about your health. Let's see. All right, if you want a reading, just keep asking. I promise I'll get through as many people as I possibly can. And if I don't call you, know that you may have had a reading already. All right, Keenan. Card that's come forward for you is please be selfish. Okay, Keenan, when I connect in with you and just connect in with your body and see what gets shown to me. So the first thing that was shown to me, Keenan, is I'm not sure if you have a sore throat or if there's something around your throat area, but there's definitely something in this sort of area here. It feels to me like there's almost something that's a little bit glandular. So when they show me things, it's like I get a lot of glands sort of very swollen around this area. I get shown quite a significant amount of tension in your neck area, and so that shows me a lot of stress and biting your jaw, tension in your mind, a lot of stress related stuff going on. When I go a little bit further down, and I'll give you a bit more of what they're showing now, I get taken straight to their back, your lower back in particular. And then quite a significant amount in my sort of respiratory area, sort of heart and lungs. None of this means anything's wrong. It's just what they're showing me to talk about. So just if you're having anything come up for you, you can let me know what resonates. Keenan, the overwhelming messages coming forward for me as I'm talking to you is that stress is impacting your physical well-being. And so this is an important thing for you to start looking after your own sense of well-being, not necessarily on a physical level, but certainly on a stress level, managing your stress levels more. Remember, stress is an interesting thing because we want to look at external factors and almost blame them for our stress. But the truth is, most of our stress has got to do with our relationship with life. It's got to do with our expectations, and it's got to do with, and I'm not saying there isn't stress, but stress comes a lot from wanting things to be different to how they are. I want to have more money, I want to have more time, I want to have a different body, I want to do a different work, I want to have a different partner. Well, you don't have any of those things. So now what you're going to do with the life you've got becomes a way of getting clearer and accepting it and then working with it. But in terms of your physical health, your well-being on a physical level, I do get quite a lot of tension because of the stress that you're carrying. And so learning how to find ways to express yourself, have more fun, breathe more, relax more, all of these things are coming forward as permissions, things you need to choose to do for you. I hope that makes sense for you. There's nothing I'm picking up that's going like, oh, it's overwhelmingly dangerous, but please let me know if there's a specific question that's coming up for you. Right, Charlene Pretorius. Any guidance or message regarding a new home? All right, so you're wanting to move. All right. Charlene, just confirm for me that you're looking for a new home. So you're looking for guidance about finding a new home. All right, Charlene, the message is coming forward for me. I was just check, is let joy be your guide. Let joy be your guide. So it feels to me like the way your male guide comes in is it says that you're undertaking this. Okay, yes, there we go. Process of buying, but so many. He says you're undertaking this task like it's a chore, like it's, oh, now I must do that, now I must do that, now I must do that. But if you treated it like an adventure, like an exploration of like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to find, and I wonder how I'm going to get that, and almost release the sort of idea you have that you must be working at this, but rather exploring this and experimenting with it. Go and look at many different places and find the things that make you smile. There's such a heavy energy for you around this shift. I'm not sure if it's because you don't want to move. It doesn't feel like that's true. It almost just feels like it's something to fit into a very busy schedule, which may well be true. But that's what's bringing about the obstacles, is the heaviness around it. There was a way that you could lighten it up and go like, oh, this is fun. Like, how do I enjoy this process? Like going and, finding something new and finding something magical, allowing yourself to dream about what this process is opening up for you, because it's quite a good move for you. You've been stagnant for quite a while, and this is quite a good thing. It's traumatic, it's difficult to move, but there's something about finding the joy in it, the excitement and the possibility in it, and seeing what that could be. If you simply start looking at this as like an experiment and an adventure, an opportunity and a gift, well, then maybe the whole process would get a little bit easier for you, or a little bit different at least. So I hope that makes sense for you, Charlene, my darling. Jasmine van Eden, could I have a reading on love and career? Right. Let's see, love and career. Stressing about every little detail, want to move, but man, my heart. Okay, have some fun, Charlene. It's just a move. People will help. Things will get done in its own time. It's a bit of an adventure. Yeah, it's a great shift for you. All right, so the message is for both, Jasmine, and that's come forward for you, and the card is raise your vibration. Raise your vibration. So this is, hold on, let me see what they wanted to show me. And it's a very similar reading to the one before in some ways, and very different. If I had to, like Jasmine, the way your male guide comes forward is he's got like a drum. He's been given this drum, and he's taken the drum and he's going dum, 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 dum. Now there's only so many times you can do dum. I mean, it gives a rhythm, but it's not a lot of fun. And if I listen to this continuously, whilst it might give me some repetition and it gives me some structure, it's going to bring with it some heaviness, some boredom in your case. But if I had to take the drum and start trying new things, dum dum dum, dum dum dum, dum dum dum, boom boom boom, boom boom boom, boom boom boom, dum boom 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 boom. Now with the same instruments, I've got a whole lot of variety, and that sort of music starts to lighten things up, and I can get to move a bit more. And so what's happening for you, Jasmine, is there's like a repetition in your life. There's something that's just repeating itself on autopilot, just dum, 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 dum. And this can give us a profound amount of perception around safety, but it doesn't create the opportunity for us to make more music. Oh, there we go. I'm actually a singer. My boyfriend accompanies me on the guitar. So then you go. You like now you're getting a strong sense. I mean, you're never going to make music with just dum, dum. Whilst you need it there as a bass, you've got to have some variety and some excitement. And so when you have a look at the love and career, it's about enjoying the sort of variety, like flow with things. It doesn't have to always be stable. Actually, a lot of variety or expression will create some stability for you, strangely enough. So like, have a bit more fun. That's what this raise your vibration is about. Like, change the beat a bit. Do something different. And you can lead it. You don't have to wait for someone else to do it. Ah, there we go. Jasmine, I can't make this shit up. I cannot make this shit up. So there you go. Time to make your own stuff. All right, Candace Hiltzinger. Let's see what your guides want to tell you. Candace, all right. All right, let us see. Candace, I think did I pin you? Candace Michelle Hiltzinger, there you are. Anything for me? Yes, there's something for you. All right, the card that's come forward for you, Candace, is mind, body, heart, and spirit integration. Mind, body, heart, and spirit integration. Let's see how they want to talk about this. It's quite funny the way your guides are coming forward. They almost have like, if you imagine like a body walking towards me, but the left side of the body wants to go in one direction and the right side of the body wants to go in another direction. And the head's looking somewhere else, and so on and so forth. And it's like this real sort of tug of war in one place, in one body, like who's going to win. So there isn't this working together kind of idea. And this is, they should say, what's going on for you is like you're almost negotiating between your mind and your heart. Like your mind wants one thing, your heart wants another, and you're not listening to either, in the sense of there's a negotiation of who's going to win. And if you're in the same body and both are fighting it out, you're not going to move anywhere. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to stagnate. So you can go and listen back to the beginning of the reading in terms of the holistic reading, weekly message, and you can see there was a whole lot there about stagnation if you weren't online then. So this is about understand there's a part of you that can value both. That it's not your mind is right and it's not your spirit is right. It's not your heart is right. It's not any of these things. It's about what do they both want? What do you need? And there's a real opportunity for you to learn to take care of your needs. So, for example, if I'm wanting to start my own business, my heart really wants me to start my own business, and my mind's going like, but what about money? What about money? What about money? And we think we must try and convince my mind that we're going to make enough money, then it'll be fine. This is not true. What the mind wants is, what are the fears that you need to tell me about so that we can come up with a plan? What money? Money for today, money for when I'm 65, money for children, what money? What are we worried about? How much money do we need? And so it's having this dialogue between the various parts of you that brings integration together. And there's a part of you that can facilitate the dialogue, not to choose who's the winner, but to notice what each part's value is. And so there seems to be some decisions you're trying to make in your life where you're pulling yourself in different directions and being fragmented in it. And if you could sit down and you can do even a journaling exercise of noticing, because everything just needs to be noticed for you to be able to move forward. I need to tell you as well, they want me to tell you you're on the right path. I'm not sure what that means to you, but they're wanting me to say that to you. So right path, you know what I mean. All right, let's see who's next here. Fenton Carlser. Right, so if you still want a reading, you can just ask. I'm going to have a few more minutes so we can see if we can do one or two more. Fenton Carlser. All right, so Fenton, it's a message that's come forward already tonight. Remove the doubt. Remove the doubt. So there's like an idea you have, Fenton, that you've been wanting to act on for a significant amount of time. It's an idea that doesn't go away. It's an idea that you're not sure will work because many other people tell you it's not going to work. But there's this idea that's just not going away, and they're saying remove the doubt that like this is an idea worth exploring, if not acting on in the extreme way, but exploring, giving it a bit more attention, paying attention to what it's asking you to notice, what it is that you can start doing about it, what it is that it's inspiring in you, what it is that it's asking you to open up to and explore. So they're saying you'll know what I'm talking about. So you'll know what I'm talking about. That's what they say. All right. Oh, thank you, Jasmine. That's lovely. Okay, Candace, well, when I finish now in the next few minutes, I'm going to post it and you can go and find your reading. You can listen to it. It'll also be posted on YouTube tomorrow, so it's there forever. Right, so Karen, who is here? Okay, Karen Wright, and then I think Antoinette Jabea you also asked. So Karen Wright. Let's see here. Is it Karen or Karen? I would love a reading. Need some guidance. Karen or Karen? Oh, good. I'm glad, Fenton. Okay, Karen, I hope if your name's Karen, just let me know. Embrace the messiness of life. Embrace the messiness of life. They're telling me you'll be laughing right now, and I don't really need to say too much more. But this is about, like, life just doesn't always go according to plan. Life has its own way. Traffic happens, systems go offline, computers crash, cars break, like things happen, life happens, and it's in those life happening moments that we get to meet ourselves. When life happens on life's terms, that's when we find our resilience, we find our peace, we find our resolve, we find our humor, we find our experience. And so, like, life has this magical way of keeping us humble by not necessarily working out the way that we want it to work out. And this is the ability for you to learn to go with life on life's terms, to play with it. So, like, not everything needs to be in its little box, and not everything needs to be clean and, right. It's learning to enjoy the messiness. Yeah. All right. I'm laughing at the card. Yes, there you go. I'm glad you got it. Dean, it's the same card, they're telling me. It's the same card for career. Stop doubting and stop paying attention to you rather than others. All right, and I said there was somebody I said I was going to. Where? It's Antoinette. Right, Antoinette Jabert. Let us see what your guides want to tell you. Pleasure, Candace. Oh, I'm glad. Thank you, Maxine. It's nice to know that I'm glowing. That's lovely. Antoinette, you need to take the first step. You need to take the first step. All right, so I've spoken about this before, but like it's just worth talking about every time because it's just so cool. There's a poet called David White. He's a lovely poet, and he's got a poem called Start Close In. And the way the poem goes is it says, take the step you need to take, the step you don't want to take, the step that will change everything. You can go and Google it, Start Close In by David White, Whyte. And that's the poem that they keep repeating in my mind when it comes to you. It's like, what's the thing you need to do that you just don't want to do? Like, it doesn't go away, but you know that if you did this, your life would change radically sometimes, differently sometimes. But it's a step that needs to be taken, and it's not going to be taken for you. And I'm not sure if this is what it is about. I don't necessarily know that this is accurate, but what I do know is that they're showing me the hardest step I ever needed to take was the step to get divorced. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And my life came crumbling down. And when it did, it all just broke. And when it broke, I was able to rebuild it. And so that's kind of the way they're talking about it. I'm not necessarily sure it's about a relationship for you, but it is in that same sort of energy of like there's something It's a step you need to take. If you just take that step, whilst everything will come crumbling down maybe, then things can be rebuilt. So I hope that makes sense for you. All right, so that's it. We've reached 8:30, so it's time for us to end it off here. It's been awesome and a great joy being connecting with all of you tonight. I hope that you found a message that resonated with your heart. Remember, if you didn't get called for a message, it doesn't mean there isn't messages for you. So listen to it again, and I will see you all next Monday. Sending lots of love. Namaste.